Hello, welcome to a series of tutorial that I'm going to do on the LEM, an editor written for Common Lisp, another interesting languages that is also written in Common Lisp. So if you're interested into learn an Emacs like, so similar to Emacs in some ways, editor, and then I think you're in the right place. So I'm going to start the tutorial by go from zero to hero. So from the ground start, I don't even have anything installed, right? Let's put the basics. This is a Linux Mint virtual machine. So let's do a screen fetch, and see what we have. So we do have Linux 21. This is the kernel. Just things. All right. So just to be clear, this tutorial we're going to use this one. So if you use another distribution or anything, your experience might be different. I hope not that much, but we'll see. So first of all, imagine that I don't know anything. The first thing that I want to do is go to the LEM webpage, right? I'm interested in know what LEM is. So we can go to LEM editor and let's see. Okay, reject. Sorry, Google. Let's go to the GitHub page. Okay, we can now go to the official LEM webpage, which is this one. This is the project on the GitHub. Okay, and then this is the official LEM page. We can read that editor what's doing for Camel Lisp, as I said, and you can, after install it, you can start writing Camel Lisp. Let's see how it goes. So we can go get started, and we have the left, LEM and cursors, and this is the two different currently front ends. One is for end cursors, so for the terminal, and the other one uses the STL2 library, which is like a graphics library that we're going to use for that is used for games, but also can be used for editor. And then we have a lot of documentation that will explore in other chapters. So first, I'm going to do this one because I'm in Mint, right? So at first, we have to install SBCL, curl, and then Git. So let's just copy and paste. Maybe this way. Yeah, I think this is good. Okay. So let's go this one. My password is not that interested, so because this is a virtual machine. Let's wait a little bit while it's loading. Okay, done. So now we have SBCL, curl, and Git install. I'm going to try this automatic installer. Let's see if it works. So there's a warning. If you want to know what it does, you can go there and read it. So I'm going to paste it. Okay. See how it goes. So we have to wait a little bit now. This is what this is going to do is to install different. This will require sudo because you have to install some dependencies from the system. But let's see how it goes. So now installing the dependencies. Installing dependencies. Okay. GCC. So most of the dependencies can be you can if you go to the from scratch. So you can read which one is going to install, which are build essential, SPCL, and then courses basically. Okay. Let's wait a little bit. So now installing Culotte. So Culotte will be if you familiar with npm or Composer or Maven, any other dependencies management tool. Culotte is basically that. It creates like a local environment for the package or the well software to work and have dependencies to it. So I will ensure that all the dependencies are correctly installed and you don't have to worry about that. That's the idea. So now installing Culotte, we can go to the Culotte page. You want to know what it does. Let's see. So there is Culotte installation. This is another way of installing manually if you go for a manual approach. So if we go to Culotte, we can see that indeed it's automatic installer, but then you can also install manually or with Broswell, which is like a virtual management of SBCL. Well, not SBCL, Common Lisp. So yeah. Oh, it's doing things. Okay, so we have Culotte installed correctly. Successfully install, and then we're going to clone it lem. So it's going to clone it into the common Lisp lem. So we can see here what is cloning it, which is here. That, and now it has to install Quick Lisp and download a bunch of things. This process does take a while, but we can explore a little bit of the web page meanwhile. So we have to take into account that Lem is very similar to Emacs. So if you're familiar with Emacs, it will be easier for us to use. I chose the Ncurses frontend because I think it's more stable. SDL2 does require some the libraries that depends sometimes have some problems. So I think Ncurses is easier to work. So if you don't, if you're not in Debian Mint or Ubuntu, you're in Arch, you can use this one, which is like a AUR package. And if that doesn't work, you can always try manually. I highly encourage this kind of approach from scratch, which is basically what the automatic thing is doing. Right? You have the Debian, Fedora, and OpenSUSE and Arch in the top, but Arch should also have these dependencies. And then you can create a executable this way, or and then if you want to have the what the automatic installer does is it's create a symlink, I think, or it moves the executable. I don't remember. I think this moved the executable to usr slash bin. Oh yeah, I put it here. Symlink. Yeah, sorry. I was just. So yeah, at the left, we have a lot of. Okay, now it's doing stuff. Yeah, distribution. You have to install Quick Lisp and all the thing from scratch. Keep in mind that this is like a. So we can take a look if this is like a fresh machine. So this will take way less if you already did that. Okay, we can go to QL file and we can see the dependencies. So we have all this, which is external packages that are not in Quick Lisp. Some of them are related to Lem specifically, like micro, the mailbox, and some themes. Some of them don't, like Row, which is the testing framework. And this one is also from the Lem project, but it's basically a wrapper around SDL2, which is the graphic library. Yeah, these are the packages that are not in Quick Lisp, so we have to do it in this Culotte style, but it shouldn't be any problem. So let's see. If you see, okay, you can think, okay, why is downloading the SDL2 things, what I'm doing the Ncurses, it's downloading the dependencies, but it's not going to load it. So it's downloading the dependencies, but it's not going to load it on the software. I know this is a bit complicated at first, but it's quite clear. So imagine that you just downloading like a library, you're not linking to executable, something like that. Not exactly, but you can. Now it's installing all the Quick Lisp dependencies, and then we'll start. Yeah, now it's compiling. So, yeah, it's basically it will take a little bit, but meanwhile we can go to here and maybe check the how to use it page. There we have it. So, this is a very small manual compared to other editors and stuff, but the idea of this manual is to just give you some tips, and then you can go from there. So let's see if it's going. So it's loading the dependencies. So you can see we have a vmode. This will be helpful if you're coming from Vim or NeoVim or any other model editor. And then you have similar commands to Emacs. I was a Vim user, so I do use vmode. But in this, I'm not going to using this tutorial because I want to be as vanilla as possible. We will take a look at the configuration and all of that in the future, but for now, we will stick with the vanilla. Some of the things, if you see this, is because now the stable quote version of Lem is the 2.1. This is basically the one that we have an executable that you can use. But we're using the the one in main, the main branch, right? Okay, and I think we got it. We do. We have executable. So if we do which lem, we do have a lem. Okay, let's restart the terminal just because I want to. Nothing. And let's do a little bit of exploding. I don't want this chapter to be that long, but at least let's open it. So this is the lem interface at first. We have like a buffer. In the top corner is not, it may be confused by a buffer name, but it's not a tab, right? Because we have more than one buffer. Okay, let's go a little slower. What is a buffer? So a buffer is a place in memory that we can store some data, and it will be displayed in this specific like view for us, right? So the top left, we see the name of the buffer that we're currently in, right? If we change buffer, how can we change buffer? We press Ctrl X V, sorry, now, and we can press tab. We can see there are two buffers. One is messages and one is TMP. Messages basically is a buffer that will tell you the message of the editor. So this is not intended to be like edit anyway. See, if I do some things, it will show the message here. Let's go back to go back, simply Ctrl XP and then enter will show the last buffer. Let's delete, and using the default keybind for any computer, like right and then the backspace to delete stuff. We'll take a look at the keybinders later. The first command that is interesting when you go here is the scribe keybinding. So we can meta X, which is Alt X. This is the prompt that will show all the commands that are available. If you want to get the list full, you can press tab. Will give you a lot of commands. But we're interested in this scribe bindings. All documentation, the scribe bindings. These are two commands. If we go here, we will get a full list of all the internal commands of Lem regarding movement, editing, and the mark. These are all intended to use with the vanilla Lem, so we'll stick with this. This is there's a copy of in the webpage of Markdown. These commands. If you go, I think it docs. Yes. The full key bindings. Which is, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but it's very similar. Yeah, I think it's the same. And you can see here that we have all the commands here. Window. This is a lot of things. Some of them are related to similar to Emacs ones, to GNU Emacs, but not all of them. Don't expect the same key binding to work on Lem as it does in Emacs. Okay, if you come from Emacs. Okay, so now we're here. We can check. Okay, let's see. Control N and down is the next line. We can click on next line, and we will go to the source code of this, command. For now, this is not interesting. I'm assuming that you are not that familiar with Common Lisp, so I will not say anything about that. But you have the small documentation. Most of the command here are very intuitive. So I'll recommend you after this video to just take a look, try some of them, and then in the next chapter we're going to edit a little bit the configuration and add some of our own commands. It's going to be a small Common Lisp introduction. And yeah, hope you like it. This has been the video, and see you in the next one. Bye.